Welcome back to Celebrity Sunday. I am your celebrity host, Drayson. And today we're going to do something a little different. I know I say that like every time because every time that we actually do something a little different, it truly is a little different. But in this case, I'm going to keep the intro short and sweet. The house that we're going to see today is that of a sort of celebrity, but he's more of like a Bravo celebrity, okay? Like he's a reality star and he has been like one of the most prominent figures in West Side real estate. He's been on $1 million listing since the damn thing started. We're talking about Josh Flagg, okay? Josh Flagg is, honestly, I don't really know exactly what to make of Josh. He comes off pretentious, sometimes, and then, but I'll be honest with you. I don't really know because I don't know him personally, but I did have the pleasure of meeting him before. And he was cool enough to like stay behind after like the filming was done, and he took pictures with people, and understanding that that's not something that people necessarily have to do, he did it, and he did it with a smile. So Josh is cool with me. Josh Flagg is cool with me. Maybe our paths will cross again. I hope so. That's like one of the things that I hope does happen, because that means I'm doing really, really well in the real estate world if our paths cross again. You know what I mean? So anyway, we're gonna look at Josh Flagg's, I believe this is his personal house that he had like redesigned. It's in Beverly Hills. Like he's been in Beverly Hills his entire life. So he loves Beverly Hills. He bleeds Beverly Hills. He breathes Beverly Hills. He knows more about Beverly Hills than Beverly herself, okay? So we're gonna check his house out, and I'm sure it's gonna be done so tastefully that it makes you want to puke.
Hey guys, I'm Josh Flagg. This is my pal Jake Arnold.
Hey guys.
Hello.
I'm here to give you a tour of my new pad.
Beautiful. Yeah, this dude buys a new house like every 2 weeks. I'm joking, but he buys a lot of houses around.
Okay, so
Beverly Hills.
Lots of things to do here. I mean, the goal is to maintain the integrity of the house and not screw around with a Rex Lotery, because I don't want to be the person to screw up.
Yeah, don't be that person.
Like
History.
Amazing historical architect, but do what he would do today. So for example, what I want to do is I want to create this
Pause. What are these, Josh? Because they look comfortable. Are these like house shoe loafers? Like, because you're wearing them, and clearly that there's some sort of shoe. I know we're supposed to be looking at the house. There's some sort of shoe, but it's definitely some sort of loafer. Yeah.
tunnel effect. I want to take that hedge there. I want to duplicate it on this side, as well as just this corner piece here with the shrubs coming out.
I can see that.
It so that you literally come into this like tunnel and walk straight down.
I love that. I think it's always nice when you drive in anywhere to not really see the front door immediately. And I feel like that is very in keeping with like how these houses were built to create these kind of like whimsical entrances and moments.
Yeah.
Because you get that like amazing through line to the view as well.
What do you think about doing the front doors in bronze, like an old Trousdale door, like very cool mid-century bronze doors?
I love that. I was going to actually say like with the gate too.
I like them to match it.
I think those being the same thing, and those like even finding something that's like potentially antique.
Oh no, I want to find
the original doors. Because I think that what's so beautiful about the house is you've got the wood elements, all of this poured stone, but doing that like gorgeous like patinaed bronze could be amazing.
And then I want to take all the cement out here, and I want to continue the terrazzo that's on the inside, so that you have the original terrazzo going into the front door.
Your actual experience starts right here.
Exactly. This is all brand new, but I guess, Charlie, who owned the house, wanted to look like the Brady Bunch, so they put in this, shag 50s carpeting, which I love Charlie, but that's going. So I'm thinking of just doing either the terrazzo and insetting it in the wood, or just going solid wood going up the stairs. This is exactly how the house looked in 1965, except for it's been totally rewired, plumbed, new electric, new everything. The house is on a Crestron system. Like, it's totally functions as a brand new house, but this is what it looked like when they built the house in 1965, which is what I really love. Yeah. What do you think about, I keep going back and forth. I love the plants, but I also like the idea of a water feature.
I literally was about to say, like, my gut thing was this.
But
is
how do you
water,
do
but
both?
the
maybe?
smell is going to be questionable.
You're right.
And it gets like humid in here. I mean, my favorite thing is this, like having a sunken living room is incredible.
And then in here, the plan is to, even though I love it and I hate to do it, I have to take these doors out because I'm gonna expand the second floor, this bedroom over here. I'm gonna expand this out. I'm gonna expand the screening room out to here. These are gonna be the doors into the screening room. And so what I wanna do is I wanna mimic, see how you have those windows there, those louvers into the master bedroom. I wanna do some kind of an element that starts right here, which goes into the guest bedroom.
I love also how seeing your furniture and pieces in here brings it to life in this transportive way. Like, I feel like I'm in like an old Hollywood movie.
Right.
Like, it's very
but
it also feels so comfortable and like livable, and you want to hang out in here, which I think a lot of people take this type of approach with these types of houses now, and it's like super minimalist.
No. What I want to do is, you have this brutalist stone wall right here.
Yeah.
As much as I love the outdoor room right here, the house lacks about 1,200 square feet of square footage that I want to bring in. So I'm going to take the wall here, go across, take all these doors out, all those doors out, enclose that room there, and then make the family room double the size on this side.
That'd be amazing. So I guess, like, obviously because you're so passionate about design and what you do is real estate, and sometimes that feels like a conflict of interest.
Yeah.
Like, how do you think? Because for me, adding square footage is never always my top priority. Like, I'm like, just keep it, it's quaint, work with it. But when you're adding square footage and keeping this architectural integrity, like, it takes a specific person to do that, because you're going to have to do so much research.
Well, you just have to think to yourself, what would Rex Lotery do today? Right. Because back then, you know, they didn't care about resale value, where you position the house on the property, all these things that you need today. So you just have to think, okay, if I was Rex Lotery and I was doing this in 2025 instead of 1965, what would have I done differently? And make sure that it embraces, you know, it keeps the integrity of the house. I'll show you the outside. So imagine all this terrazzo just continues out here. These doors are gone. And then this room is all enclosed.
You can give these doors to me, by the way.
So you could have them. So what I want to do is I want to continue this wall across right here. There'll be a cabinet right here. This is going to be a bartender behind the bar. You know, people can come up for drinks. These are going to be windows that louver out to the side, and then there'll be like a little counter right here. There'll be some stools, so somebody that can jump out of the pool, come here. Bartender can serve them a cocktail. If you're having a dinner party, bartender, you know, can serve from right here. Then we'll.
Josh is so pretentious. Like, he's just like, I'm going to design this in a way where I could show it off to all my friends and make them so jealous of this lifestyle that I live, because I don't have any children. I think he said he wants kids, but he's obviously not there yet. And yeah, look, there's actually nothing wrong with being pretentious. It just means that he likes stuff to, you know, a certain way. And he's become accustomed to a way of living that, to be honest with you, even though he started off with, you know, having good relationships that worked in his favor, he still worked his ass off to get where he is. So hats off to him for that. But he definitely has a lot of great vision here, because what he is saying will make the house even more grand than what it is. Like, this is really, to be honest with you, this is a house that, even without doing anything, I love. It's a mid-century modern house, which is beautiful and very simple, sleek, clean lines, you know, something that our current moderns need to, you know, take hints of and start applying more often instead of just being complete boring, boxes, because that's what makes mid-century moderns, like aesthetically pleasing, right? Just the use of stone, inside of the home, like that terrazzo that he keeps speaking of, like it's just a more natural approach versus what we see normally today, which is either hardwood or some sort of like marble tile or,
Either do just large family room here or maybe a pool table or something fun, but not like a cheesy pool table. It'll be really, it'll look great. This will be a glass panel here, then there'll be a set of doors.
So he's going to
like
enclose
these.
this. Yeah.
And then you have we've just now
What are you
created
going
a
to
whole
do
room.
with all the ceilings and the lights?
Smooth plaster, and I have these really fabulous double lights that
Like the articulating.
the articulating lights, and then smooth plaster.
And is that going to carry through inside?
Carry through.
Yeah.
I have to see if this is load bearing, but what I'd like to do is I'd like to just cut the wall right here,
Yeah.
take this part out so that the room is squared off.
Yeah. That's going to be amazing. I love this double-sided bar, which again feels like would have naturally been
Yeah.
here. Do you know what I mean? My whole thing, and I think it's the same thing with what you're doing outside with adding the hedge, is I like to create the moments where you don't see everything at once. Like leave something to the imagination. It's like foreplay for the house.
So then over here, outdoor dining area, do a fabulous stone or like unfilled travertine table.
Gorgeous.
Could do a water feature of some sort across right here,
Yeah.
possibly. And then when you come up here, I want to do some kind of a cabana here. I'm going to bring this wall back. This is just wasted real estate here. And I want to make this a covered cabana with some kind of a fire pit.
I love that. Also, isn't it crazy that there's no railing here? Like if this house was built now, there'd be railings everywhere.
Would never fly today.
So this is not kid friendly.
Would never fly.
Would never fly.
I want to do 3 spouts here, water for
Yeah.
water. But the platform, I want it to continue to the end, and then I want to sink in it a jacuzzi.
Yeah, I love that. To be honest, I also think doing the jacuzzi centered here in ground flush would be amazing.
You mean in the pool?
Yeah.
Yeah, you could do that too.
So that when you have this symmetry that's super strong, and then this, and just cut that area out of the pool, and then just have the hot tub here so it's all flush. I also love the idea of doing this by the front door. Like you're like you have to walk on that with the water either side would be
That's actually
epic.
epic.
Like if you have your 2 hedges
And then
then you make this wider.
Yeah.
And even if it was like for safety, it didn't have spaces and the path is in the
No, I
water
know.
could be amazing.
think
Because
it's a good idea.
this is beyond.
But then what they're saying that they would do, essentially you'd have to move that first hedge, you have to move that edge a little more to the left or the side, however you want to orient it, and then leave enough space because you want this water feature, you want it to like be seen, even if it's like thinner than what this looks like now. Yeah, even if it's thinner than what this looks like now, which would probably be better, like they mentioned, safety is concerned, especially if you're coming in drunk, right? You don't want to fall completely into this. Maybe your foot gets in there and kind of wakes you up a little bit. So you want the water possibly to end right here. And to get that to happen, you'd have to move that other hedge a little bit. Otherwise it'll look really cramped and it won't look nice. Right? It won't look nice. And I don't think you need to have the water pouring out either. I think you should just have the water there. You know what I mean?
The
I know.
water could be amazing.
think
Because
it's a good idea.
this is beyond.
The kitchen's really nice. Really,
So
really
the
nice.
dining room is fine, but for the way I like to entertain, first I don't like to be in with the kitchen.
Right.
I like a more formal thing.
Right.
So what I want to do is I'm going to do screens on both sides right here that are always in the open
Yeah.
position, but when I'm having a dinner party,
He is so like old money, right? Because that's a old money thing to have the kitchen closed off, right? To have the kitchen closed off, which you'll find in a lot of like the historical type of mansions, is you want the separation of where the food is being prepared, because the kitchen to, the old money, rich people, is that you did none of the work, and you just would wait for the work to be done and for you to receive the food. So the kitchen was no place for, the wealthy people. Like the kitchen means nothing to them. Like the kitchen was strictly for the staff, for the chefs, for the butler. That's what the kitchen was for, which is why kitchens were not as nice as they are now, as far as like designing wise, because they spent no time in the kitchen. The kitchen was really just about a functionality's purpose. So they didn't spend time going in refrigerators, stuff like that. That's what they hired staff for. That's old. That's how old money is. And Josh, he has that traditional like mindset of, Beverly Hills and, how things used to function and, houses that he's been in, he's more on the historic side. And historically, that is what you want for your kitchen. You don't want to be able to see the food being made. Like that's not what ultra wealthy people back in those times wanted, versus now people want to be as close to, normal. No matter how rich they are, they want to be as close to normal as possible, which is why having an open concept, no matter how much money you have, if it works for a lot of people.
They can be closed. And then push this back 3 feet, so it's 3 feet longer. And I want to take this, even though this is probably load bearing, I want to take it 3 feet over to here, and now your dining room is huge.
Amazing.
What do you think about this, the Calcutta gold that's here already?
I actually like the stone. I think if you kept it, I would definitely hone it so it's matte. And you can also do like a bush hammer texture that gives it like a roughness. But I also feel like if I was doing it from scratch, I don't know if I would pick a veiny stone in this house. I would think I'd pick something a little more like texture that's solid.
I'm just thinking, they already did and they spent a fortune on it. Is it worth ripping it all out?
It's definitely not worth ripping it out. I think the best way to do a kitchen like this that's pretty great as is you just keep all of the boxes. You just replace the fronts, which is the easiest thing. Hone the stone or like tumble it, whatever, and do a different effect, and it's going to feel completely different.
I just wanted to, this is too
That's too brass.
Yeah.
To me, it's more of a bronze.
I want to bronze it.
Well, I have someone who can come here and they just age it.
How?
By the way, on Amazon, this is the best tip, is it's called like an brass ager. It's like $20. I take it to every install I ever do. I put it on a rub, like on a cloth, and you literally just rub it down and it just you see these darker areas?
Yeah.
It just darkens everything. So most of the time when you get like an unlacquered brass, you have to wait years for it to get darker.
Right.
So like this is the best hack on Amazon.
How long will it take to get that to go down to like a bronzy color?
10 minutes.
Really?
No, it's literally like rubbing it.
But it's a different metal, isn't it? That's not bronze.
But this is brass.
Right.
But brass, because this is this looks, I'm not sure, like sometimes brass is unlacquered, which means you can age it. If there's a sealant on it, a guy just comes here, does like a rough sanding to take off the sealant. This is the easiest thing.
How do we know if it's sealed or not?
We'll test it, because you'll know when you put the ager on it. If it doesn't take, it means there's a sealer on it.
What's it called? Just like
a brass ager. I'll send it to you.
Carol, will you get from him brass ager?
Yeah.
Brass ager off of Amazon. Will you order some?
Brass ager.
Here, I think
Give me some brass ager.
terrazzo out here, this whole area, and then drop fire pit in the center and order 2 more of those chairs, and then you have like a...
Are those Blackman Cruise chairs?
Yeah.
I love those.
Isn't that great? All right, let me show you the primary suite bathroom. So then from right here, I'm gonna just make this all closet going across. And then, I don't know if there's really much to change in the bathroom.
Yeah.
I mean, I would have probably choose different stones, but it's here already, so.
I love this little hidden detail.
Yeah, I think those are original.
I love this that you can see through. It's
And
amazing.
you push the button and it actually powders. So you have privacy too.
So good. And then I think with the closet, are you going to do everything closed or open?
I haven't thought about that yet.
because I feel like when you're walking through it every day, having it closed, but then that you could bifold it. So like if you're getting dressed, you can have it open. But I think if you're treating it more like a vestibule, I kind of love the idea of doing it like this, where it's a paneled vestibule.
So you don't have to look at all the clothes
but it's
every day.
all built in within the wall.
Yeah.
So then all the closets are just hidden.
Yeah, and then you don't have to look at all the clothes.
Yeah.
The problem is then when you're getting dressed and you want to see all your clothes.
But
what do
then you can do this door that then pushes back the like pocket into the wall.
So what, like 20 pocket doors?
That's what I was thinking. Pocket doors
So every
for
morning I have to open every single one?
But no,
Like-
because like if you're quickly getting ready, you just open the door and you look. But if like one day you want to have everything open and
You just
someone's
open the
packing,
whole
or,
pocket
like,
doors.
you're not sure what you're wearing
Right.
or whatever, then you open it.
Yeah.
But also the other thing is you could do both. Like I do a lot of times in closets, like half closed, half open.
Right.
So that you've got an option. Shoes can always be open, like anything that's hung. And so this ceiling too, smoothing this.
Smooth plaster it.
Yeah. I think it's great.
Thank you.
So if the whole
All right,
5,000
Steve
square
Media, thanks
feet,
for
we've
stopping
seen
by.
one
Thank you,
room.
Jake Arnold.
Thanks for having me.
We'll see you next time.
Bye guys.
We'll see you next.
Yeah, see, like, because they would have to, let's see. They might be able to add the water feature because this is no, but you don't want to like take away from the path to the door. So they would just have to move this hedge a little bit and then add the other hedge. And I mean, good. It's good.
Next time.
Bye guys.
Bye. All right, so first off, Josh, hats off to you. Congratulations on the purchase of that home. I know it happened, you know, like closer towards the end of last year. I mean, I think what you're saying, it'll come out great. It doesn't sound like a whole lot of projects either because, you know, I know you have that one house. You probably still have it. You know, I haven't really been looking, but Josh has this like house that he bought in the flats, and it was on the show. Okay, it was on the show, and I mean the inside of it was like nothing. It was gutted, and he bought that for like 14 million. But it's on the better block of the flats, one of the better streets of the flats. So essentially, you know, he does the work. You know. Definitely with his vision, it's a $20 million plus, you know, house in Beverly Hills. And yeah, but back to, you know, this house in Trousdale that he has, because Trousdale is amazing, by the way. Nice split level. You know, I mean, the house is great the way it is, Josh, to be honest with you. Other than the small little projects that you're thinking, like you know you don't have to do anything. You just, you know, you're you. You know, you're you, and you like things to be a certain way, which when you got it, you can think like that. So the house is great. Just, you know, I could look and find how much he paid for it. I just don't feel like it. Okay, I just don't feel like it. Just know that the last listing price of this, he bought it off market. The last listing price of the house was $11 million. So he bought it for anywhere between that and I'm gonna say 9 million. Anywhere between there, okay? Anywhere between there. And I think Charlie bought it for like 9 million. So he might have bought it for 11. He might have bought it for 10. I don't know. And I don't feel like looking either. But he got a nice house. The way that I see Josh, I don't think he's gonna like, I think this is the house that he'll keep for himself indefinitely. But who knows, man? He just likes having different shit. So, I all I say is this, Josh, you know, I hope our paths cross again, more in the near future, not the, distant future, but more in the near future. So I got some work to do. I got my work cut out for me. Anybody looking to buy, $10-15 million house, and I'm available. Call me, text me, and we'll do lunch. Okay, we'll do lunch. Don't worry, I know where all the good spots are. And yeah, I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.